Silent War's 6 issues run, which was released in 2007, witnessed the only confrontation ever between Sentry and Black Bolt. 25,000 years ago, the alien Kree performed genetic experiments upon humans, and the result was a new race that became known as the Inhumans. The Inhumans used the Terrigen Mists for years to trigger mutations in the young during the rite of Terrigenesis. Recently, the former mutant Quicksilver stole the Terrigen Mists and took them to Earth, where they fell into the hands of the US government. Their refusal to return the mists prompted the Inhumans to attack New York. They go undercover and get into an opera house, remarking that these people do not know that they are at war with the Inhumans, who are already in New York. Gorgon, Jolin, Nerys, and Kurani take their seats and wait for the moment when Jolin attacks the audience with his tendrils. While Kurani removed the illusion, she cast it on her fellow Inhumans. Gorgon addresses the confined people and says that he speaks for Black Bolt and the Genetic Council of Attilan. He says that the Terrigen crystals were stolen months ago, and without them, the rite of Terrigenesis, the very essence of the Inhumans' culture, can no longer be performed. Agents of the US government took the crystals, and the leaders ignored all attempts to return them peacefully, and that's why the Inhumans decided to return them by force. Nerys took control of the cameras and the transmitters to deliver Gorgon's message throughout the land. A man yells at Gorgon that Americans do not surrender to terrorists, to be followed by another who challenges Gorgon to fight him. Gorgon tells Jolin to silence the audience, but Jolin takes it too far and kills them all. Gorgon reproaches Jolin for what he did and tells him that the Inhumans are not brute, but Jolin says that the humans are. Gorgon then tells Kurani to cast the illusion again, but they are interrupted by the Fantastic Four. Gorgon says that they seek no quarrel, but Reed tells Gorgon that they murdered helpless civilians on live television and can't walk away from this. Jolin tries to suffocate Thing with his tendrils, while Gorgon stomps the ground with great force and knocks the Fantastic team away. Jolin pins Thing down, while Nerys takes Torch down when he tries to interfere. Sue holds Nerys, while Reed captures Gorgon and confines him. Thing confronts Kurani, who casts another illusion and creates a three-dimensional psychic projection to appear like a huge monster. Reed exposes the trick to Thing, who easily subdues the Inhuman, while Torch takes Jolin down with a punch. Reed tells Gorgon that he is a soldier who shouldn't kill helpless civilians, regardless of the reason. But Gorgon says that the mission is under his authority, and he accepts full responsibility. The heroes deliver the Inhumans to the Office of National Emergency, but Reed knows that the war has not begun yet. Later on at the SHIELD helicarrier, Maria Hill reports that another team of the Inhumans come to get the crystals, using Lockjaw to teleport in. She contacts the Sentry and tells him that the guests are arriving at the designated coordinates, and that he has 45 minutes to make nice. Then the boys with big guns will be arriving. Sentry confronts Black Bolt and his team and tells them that they brought the war to Earth. Karnak says that they sent Sentry, Earth's most powerful warrior, and tells Somnus to cast a dream. The Inhuman does as Karnak says, but Sentry deflects the attack back at the Inhumans and hits Karnak himself. Sentry says that he didn't mean to hurt Karnak, and Crystal tells him that it was a dream and that he will sleep for a while. Black Bolt interferes and flies with Sentry away, but Sentry tells him that he doesn't want to fight him and that he is trying to avoid a war. Sentry shows Black Bolt what he can do and splits the ground with a punch. He tells Black Bolt that SHIELD agents will arrive soon and that he persuaded them to let him talk to Black Bolt. Sentry tries to reason with the Inhuman and tells him that he understands what he is going through, but they will never return the mists because they are afraid of the Inhumans. He advises Black Bolt to go home and that Gorgon and the others may be released with negotiation. The alternative is unthinkable, and that if they go to war, both humans and inhumans will be destroyed. Black Bolt listens to what Sentry said and decides to retreat. Later on, and upon receiving information about the Terrigen Mist's abilities and their effect on humans, Maria Hill meets with some soldiers to test the mists on them, but warns them that the process of the Terrigenesis is lethal to humans, and that they will die within days or weeks of undergoing the process. The soldiers accept the risky mission, while Luna Maximoff, the daughter of Quicksilver and Crystal, knows about S.H.I.E.L.D.'s plan to empower the soldiers with the mists, thanks to her bond to the Terrigen crystals, which enables her to sense that the Terrigen mist is being used. The Inhumans land on Earth and begin their attack on the Pentagon, but Black Bolt stands silent as Karnak instructs the Inhumans. They easily cut through the human military, but it's not long before the Avengers arrive. Sentry, however, stays out of the fight and questions the whole idea of the Avengers, remarking that they are less heroes and more soldiers. They have the power to fight, and they use it by following the orders of others. Even Iron Man, the most intelligent Avenger, is primarily a warrior. Tony urges Sentry to interfere, but Sentry wonders if it's fear that holds him back, knowing that every action may have a terrible consequence. Tony then is forced to use his repulsor blast, although it depletes his power levels and knocks the Inhumans away. Black Bolt decides to step in, but not before his fellow Inhumans teleport away, then opens his mouth, with Sentry wondering if Black Bolt can feel the void inside him, the black pit that waits to swallow them all, and urges him not to let it out. Black Bolt knocks the Avengers down and destroys the Pentagon's walls, and that's when Gorgon, who was further mutated after a second exposure to the mists, comes out and gives Black Bolt the crystals. Tony tells Sentry that his armor software is scrambled and that he needs time to reboot, urging Sentry to prevent the Inhumans from taking the crystals. But Sentry tells him that Black Bolt will use his voice if he fights him. Tony says that he just did, but Sentry says that it was just a whisper and that the Inhumans got the crystals and they will leave. It's amazing to see that Sentry represents the voice of reason in this book. Although he is known for being mentally troubled, Sentry knows how powerful Black Bolt is, and that he can easily destroy Earth if he wants to, so avoiding this fight would definitely save humanity. In What If Planet Hulk #1 by Greg Pak, Queen Kyera and not Hulk survives planet Sakaar and returns to Earth to wreak vengeance on the heroes who betrayed Banner. She beats Black Bolt and uses his voice to obliterate Sentry and Doctor Strange, without even using the full power of his voice. Although this story is not considered canon, many fans believe that Black Bolt can still destroy Sentry in the Canon 616 reality. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.